is time, finally, to start reading this. This is the writing project I've been working on since. Upon editing this, I realized that in the footage I had filmed, which was a total of 3 videos with a total time of about 30 minutes of footage, I didn't properly explain my book whatsoever. So I'm going to be telling you more about my book via a Google Slides presentation. Hello, welcome to my editing form. If you hear any sounds in the background, that is just the sound of my computer dying as it tries to render all my files again because Premiere is being a little bitch. But in the meantime, I'm going to showcase my Google Slides presentation. Welcome to It Doesn't Have a Name Yet, but Something About Water, a book by me, Ava B. So yes, I have a working title in my head, but I really don't think it's gonna stick because honestly it sounds like the name of a young adult fantasy, which I don't want my book to sound like. No hate on young adult fantasy. I don't think that the title I have suits the story perfectly. I think it's close. Like I have an idea of something about water. Plot and generally important stuff. It is set in a fictional small town on Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. During the summer, there's a lake that is in the story a lot, and there are also a lot of trees, as much of British Columbia does. It's a young adult contemporary with mystery elements, which by that I mean it's not like a young adult thriller or a young adult mystery. I would say it's a young adult contemporary with mystery elements. Those mystery elements are that the main character, Tristan, his older sister Natalie goes missing shortly into the book. He feels a lot of guilt after she goes missing, and he feels like he's responsible to figure out what happened to her. But then there's also childhood best friends to lovers. And is the mystery properly resolved? Definitely not. One of the major things that I need to focus on before writing draft 2 is getting the mystery under control, figuring out what the hell happens, how to make it interesting, how to make it compelling, how to make it well-paced. And so the biggest weakness of my writing and of this project is definitely the plot and the mystery, so that is my major focus. A fun fact is that my Spotify playlist for it is currently at 125 songs, or 7 hours and 39 minutes long, and I listen to it nearly every single day. In fact, that is the last thing I was listening to on my Spotify. It was All Too Well by Taylor Swift. Do with that information what you will. And here are some photos from my Pinterest board. I think that these encapsulate the kind of vibes I'm going for. Definitely a summer vibe, but not as in like, oh, everything's fun, the sun's out all the time. I think it has a pretty dark tone to it, while still maintaining like that contemporary small town summer feel. And there is a lot of imagery involving water. This Google Slides presentation is really ugly, and I apologize if you absolutely hate it. Back to our regularly scheduled video. It is currently 1:39. I've not been having the best experience both trying to read my draft and trying to film the process, because twice now, my footage has been messed up in some way. In the footage of me reading my first chapter, my camera wasn't recording at all. So I lost all the footage of me talking about it, being very excited, talking about how much I was enjoying reading my book, being back in the world with my characters. And then when I was reading my second chapter, my phone was on selfie mode. I don't know, I'm just pissed off, so then I took like a break. And now it's almost 2, and I need to get back on my grind because I am like midway through chapter 4. So I'm just gonna jump right into this. I have now hit the midway point. There's 20 chapters in total, and I just finished reading chapter 10. I'm honestly surprised at how it's now like 2:55, and I think I started reading from chapter 4 like at 2 or something. Like, it hasn't taken me that long to reach the halfway point. I feel like it has taken me like an hour, when I know it's probably a little bit more, probably because it's my characters and it's my writing, it's a story that I've come up with. I feel like it's a lot easier to read. So I've been taking notes after I finish each chapter, talking about the things that I didn't like, which there's a lot of, and then a few of the things that I did like and things that I want to change in draft 2, because I feel like the ideas for the chapters are good, but then the execution is just absolutely horrible. There's a solid streak of just bad chapter after bad chapter of what feels like just trying to fill up words, trying to fill up a whole chapter with like one single idea, and there's all this like moving places, talking to people just to get to this one thing. It feels like it's lacking substance. It feels like a bunch of filler that's just really filling up the word count. But even though I'm kind of hating every single chapter and I think it's all bad, I think it's definitely giving me a lot of ideas for draft 2, seeing how much I don't like this and how I think it is a horrible job at executing my story idea. And now I'm going to take a break and eat something, because I haven't had anything since a bagel at like 10. It is now precisely 5:30, and I'm on chapter 13 out of 20 chapters. I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm starting to lose it a bit. I've been alternating between filming myself talking to the camera, actually reading my draft, but also filming a lot of that process, and thirdly, taking breaks that last like over an hour. And now it's like 5:30, and I'm kind of done, but I'm not done because I want to finish this today pretty damn badly. So I think I'm just gonna grind it out. It's not like I'm not enjoying the experience at all. It just kind of feels like the story is one that I already know so well. I don't know, I feel like I'm not gaining anything from this, even though I know that I am, because I know that reading this in its entirety is a very necessary step to starting to work on my second draft, and it's just a really good way for me to get reacquainted with everything. I'm just gonna get back to work, I guess. Guess who lied about grinding and finishing it? Because now it's 8:30. I don't know what happened. I ate dinner. I'm getting back to this. I'm gonna finish it. I think I'm gonna try and film the entire process from chapter 15 to chapter 20. Hey! I may be wearing the same shirt as I was in the entirety of this video, but it is now 2 weeks later. I wanted to share with you my plans after having read my first draft. And the answer is, I still don't really know. I haven't done much work since I read my first draft. When I was writing my first draft, it became a daily thing for me. It became a part of my routine. It was during the summer, I didn't have school to worry about. It was such a huge part of my daily routine that I don't think I properly realized how much time it took and how used to it I was. And now that I haven't written anything or worked on this project since October pretty much, I think it's harder for me to try and integrate it into my daily life. I have definitely thought of some things for draft 2. I've been writing down a lot of notes. Not the most coherent notes. It's basically just one big old Notion page. Reading my first draft really helped me get my head back in the headspace of my project and helped me think of new ideas for draft 2 that I think are 10 times better than whatever my first draft was. I think that my next step is going to be creating a super solid outline for draft 2. I want to focus on the structure, the pacing, the importance of certain events being included, and I have plans to film many more writing vlogs working on this project and working on draft 2. I hope that I've given you some sort of idea of what my project is, what goes on inside my head as a writer, some sort of insight into my process, which I still don't entirely know what that is because I'm still relatively new to writing, and I hope that I can document my process on here of turning this idea that I had in 2018 and creating it into something that is a solid novel. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more writing videos and book-related content, and goodbye!